Hi, this is Denise Mathew, and welcome to the 9th episode of The Energy of Emotion. Today we'll continue to explore the emotionally defined solar plexus and discover how emotions are expressed through the collective emotional channels. In our last episode, we talked about the channel 3955, as well as how the hanging gates 39 and 55 express themselves. Today we'll talk about the collective emotional wave 4130, how it differs from the other emotional waves, as well as how the energy shows up when the gates 41 or 30 are hanging. With that said, let's get started and discover a little more about the energy of emotion. It's hard to believe that we're down to the last two channels of the emotionally defined solar plexus, the 4130 and also the 3536 collective channels. Today we're going to explore the 4130 in depth, and then we'll finish the 3536 in the next episode. And since we're getting into a different type of energy, let's do a quick recap to see what we've already gone through. So when we talk about the tribal emotional waves, we know it's all about bonding with your tribe or the people who are your people. These emotional waves usually simmer in the background and only become active when there are issues with your children, your lovers, your friends, or anyone in your tribe. Now when it comes to the individual waves, we're talking about rapid highs and sharp dips in the mood that come and go without a pattern. Instead of being about the tribe, individual emotional waves are all about the expression of the self and are packed with creativity. When we talk about the collective waves, we're talking about an emotional wave that, like the individual wave, comes with or without a pattern and isn't dependent on outside forces. Collective energy isn't the intimate inner circle of a tribe. Instead, it's all about sharing what you know with a wider audience. It's kind of like a bigger organization where all the smaller tribes go to create beliefs that are bigger than the tribe. Collective energy is very dependent on logic as well as experiential knowledge, or knowledge that comes from experience, and it aims to predict the future based on what happened in the past. When we look at the channel 4130, the first thing we can notice is that it's low down in the chart. In fact, it's as low as you can go. And what that means is it's really far from the throat. In human design, the throat center is considered the center for manifestation, or the place where dreams become reality. So the theory is, to make things come into reality that have only been dreams, you need to get energy to the throat so you can have a manifestation of that particular dream. The channel 4130 doesn't have ready access to the throat center and instead has to work to make it up to the throat. It's ideal if somebody has the 1222 or the 3536 defined, and that will make the energy go faster to the throat and can help those dreams come into reality. But that's not something that everybody has. And because of this, when you have this type of energy that's either low in the chart or high up in the head, it's called projected energy, which means that it has to be invited or recognized before you share the information, if you want it to be received in the best possible way. Which means trying to track your emotional wave and the patterns that it may or may not have will be helpful for making bigger decisions in life. After going through the highest part of your wave to the lowest part of your wave, you can determine if a decision feels right for you or not. It's called your emotional authority, and if you want more information, you can check out my authority video. I'll leave the link below. As I've already mentioned, like individual waves, collective waves don't need an outside force to shift them, and instead go to the beat of their own drum. But unlike individual waves, collective waves have a long ride to the top, or the highest part of their emotional wave, with a rapid drop and then another slow trek up again. It's kind of like hiking up a mountain and then taking a zip line down to the bottom, and then you do it all again. And what that means is that the mood can change rapidly and then change again, and it can happen all within a day or even hours, based on your own pattern. Another thing about the 4130 is that it's connected to the root center. So emotional energy is connected to adrenaline energy, or the energy we need to get things done. The root energy comes in pulses that are on or off. And when it's connected to the emotional center, they work in tandem. What that means is when someone's on the low side of their wave or in a blue period, they may have a difficult time doing the projects and things that need to be completed, even if they have a deadline. In actuality, the defined root center always has clicks off and on, or energy to do work and then energy not to do work. But when you have an emotional component added as well, you have a wave affecting the pulse of the root center. But usually this isn't an issue because of the quick turnaround in the mood, meaning that the melancholy or low side of the collective wave usually doesn't last long. The 4130 channel is called the channel of fantasy and desire. All creative inspirations begin with a fantasy or a dream, and the 4130 is where the dream begins. The 4130 channel can be intensely creative while they dream of something that they can share with the collective or the world. But for any dream to become a reality, we need to hold on to the dream and wait until the timing is right and people ask for it. And when all the ingredients line up, magic can happen. But if we're being honest, there's a fine line between being a dreamer and a visionary. And that's something that when you carry this energy, you need to be really clear about. Because the shadow side of this energy can be daydreaming and not doing much of anything at all. Because there's a lot of fantasy in this channel, there can also be some projection, or the idea that you project your ideas on someone, or someone projects their ideas on you. Because of this, there can be an expectation very similar to the channel 4037, where you can have an imagined or unspoken conversation with somebody who you're in a relationship, which can cause issues in the relationship because there's expectations that you're going to do something although you've never been told about it at all. So when you carry this energy, or you're in a relationship with somebody who carries this energy, it's really important to be clear about exactly what you said or didn't say. That way everybody will be on the same page and unfounded expectations won't happen. But when this energy works and the timing and audience are right, the dreams can be so powerful and vivid that you can empower others to believe in your dreams as well. Another thing about this energy is that when you carry it, you can look at every conceivable possibility from every angle of how to make your dream come true. This is all about being a visionary and about seeing what could be. And when the timing and the audience are correct, your inspirations will be called out of you and your ideas can be put into action. On a practical note, this is fantasy and dreaming energy that can spin amazing stories and can be the energy of a naturally talented writer. From a mystical perspective, there can be a connection with the fairy and elemental kingdom, where you might have a natural affinity with these beings. And whether you believe that or not, at the very least, when you carry this energy, you might love to be out in nature. In its truest form, this is about imagining that something is real and also the beginning of deliberate creation. There's no doubt that this energy is powerful. So if we look at Steve Jobs and also Albert Einstein, two extremely creative and visionary people who most definitely left their mark on the world. But if we look at both of their trajectories, we see that both of them were misunderstood before they were understood. But by holding on and not giving up, both Albert Einstein and Steve Jobs will definitely be remembered in history for their contribution to humanity. So if we talk about the Hanging Gate 41, it's called the Gate of Imagination. It's the beginning of creation and the energy that can ultimately bring new ideas or experiences into form. This is the dreaming side of the channel 4130, and because of that, can be someone who does a lot of daydreaming. But because this gate is so creative, there can be moving from one dream to the next without holding on to one in specific. This is all about visualizing, dreaming, and feeling it's so real, so much so that you can easily jump ahead and blurt out the fantasies or musings that are running through your head. And because it's so important to wait when you have this energy, when you don't, it can result in your ideas getting stolen or people acting negatively to your inspirations and basically shooting down your ideas. People with the Gate 41 have imagination hardwired within them. And it can't be stressed enough that this is projected energy or energy that needs an invitation to be received in the best possible way. And when that happens, some of the greatest inspirations and visualizations can be brought into reality. The Gate 30 is also called the Gate of Desire, and it brings a lot of intensity with it. When you carry the energy of the Gate 30, everything is amped up and intensified. And this holds true for the full channel 4130 as well. The whole point of the Gate 30, also called the Clinging Fire from the I Ching, is to hold on to the ideas and inspirations of the fantasy of the 41 until the timing is correct. But as you'd expect, this energy can be intense because it gives people the passion to manifest their fantasies or dreams. But because this energy amps up everything it touches, there could be potential for burnout when you carry this gate. That means you can burn yourself out, especially if you're not living to your type, like if you're a generator but acting like a manifester. As well as burning yourself out, you can also burn out other people because there can be an incessant conversation about the same theme over and over again, and people can get frustrated with the intensity of it. It's definitely not the design of a mellow personality, but in its highest form, the Gate 30 is a fuel for creative inspiration and gives the energy for endurance and resilience, and with the right timing and clarity, this energy can be the driving force that brings your wildest dreams into reality. So that's all for today, but please be sure to tune in next time when we'll talk about the collective emotional wave 3536, where we'll talk about the energy of the full channel as well as what it feels like to have the hanging gate 35 or 36. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.